Welcome to another edition of Interviewing Hollywood with me, your host, Shahid Manning. I am at the phenomenal DVD release party for Pick Up the Mic, and I have the pleasure of being with one of the stars of Pick Up the Mic, Jenro. Jen, welcome.
Hey, what's going down with you?
Hey, what's going down, Jen? So listen, I mean, we're gonna talk a lot about the different serious questions. But first of all, I want to know, what are you doing? Let's see your latest CD. What's going on in your world as far as music?
Well, my latest CD is called My Window. There it is, right there. And you know, basically, My Window was just a peek through my window of my life, my personal experiences, and so now I put this out, and I'm working on a new album called Boss Up. And Boss Up's basically, you know, step your game up, do what you do, be who you are, and just a shout out to the whole world. And so I just been working on that and just putting my music out and doing a lot of shows and, you know, spreading love across the world.
That's fantastic. So where do you usually do most of your shows?
You know, Bay Area is always my hometown, so I'm always in the Bay Area. But, you know, I'm always going down south to Atlanta, hitting the East Coast, New York, Indianapolis, just anywhere basically that they want me to be at, I'm there. Amsterdam, wherever.
That's interesting because I'm thinking to myself that it would be difficult for you to find gigs, but it doesn't sound like it is. I mean, my gosh, I mean, you have some interesting places that you go, even to the prison location. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, no, you know, I do a lot of community work. You know, Jenro is definitely, you know, diverse when it comes to my music and my lyrics. So I get asked to perform at all kind of places. I mean, I'm in San Quentin prison performing for the inmates, you know, giving them hope, letting them know it's okay. You know, I'm a lesbian, I'm a female. Everybody's wondering, well, what is she doing in San Quentin prison? Well, I'm a community activist on the side of being Jenro, the fun party, Jenro with a lot of chicks. You know, I'm in the prison helping prisoners, you know, give hope for themselves and try to make their lives a better place. You know?
That's amazing because that's what I'm noticing about all the artists, and it seems like the gay artists are more sensitive to social issues, and that is commendable. I mean, you guys are not just doing it, but you are doing it to give back, and that is absolutely what life's about. I mean, I think you guys are kind of sort of forced into it, but that's exactly what it's about. Tell me about the ease of finding things, your gigs, though. I mean, this is very interesting to me that you're able to find different gigs around the country. Do you have someone working for you to do that, or are you doing that yourself?
Well, you know, I'm all independent, and so a lot of colleges, a lot of clubs across the world, you know, contact me or contact my website, and whoever's helping me do my website, and they're like, hey, you want to come out? And I'm like, no, I never really try to turn down a show unless I'm booked that day, so I'll be hitting it, you know, day by day across the world. So it's not really hard to find gigs. You know, it just all depends on availability, and they hit me up, and I'm always down to perform for whoever. I'm open to any kind of show.
That's fantastic. So you're using a business model where they're kind of hitting you up online, and they're scheduling with you. Now, is this a MySpace page or is this your own website?
Well, I have my own website, which is Jenro.net, and that's my main contact site where they hit me up. You know, sometimes they'll Google me and be like, how can I get a hold of Jenro? And they'll hit me up on there, and, you know, they let me know about the show, what it's about, when is it. So that's how I do it, and I'll hit the plane and be right over there.
Wow, that's fantastic. So this whole internet age is really working for the independent artist. From what I've heard about using iTunes to using the internet to book your gigs, my goodness, I'm getting a education here from you guys on how to structure a business if I was going to go about this independently. That is phenomenal. So tell us one of your artists who were one of the artists that you know that encouraged you and inspired you to become a rapper.
Well, you know, I grew up on the West Coast, so Snoop Dogg was definitely bumping at the time when I was growing up. E40 from the Bay Area was from the same city I was from. You know, I was interested in Nas because Nas had a lot of lyrics coming up, and he wasn't so commercial that he was, you know, blowing at the top spot, but he had just enough lyrics to make me, you know, reconsider about what I was talking about and how I come lyrically. So there's so many artists that, you know, I can name, but definitely, you know, growing up in hip hop period just really influenced me.
I want to ask this question because I want it from a female perspective. With this hypocrisy that's in the industry, the people who you named would not come out and say even they are gay, you know, that they claim to be straight and this kind of thing. but these are the people who you say to yourself, these are the people who I want to be like. How do you reconcile that from a female's perspective? I asked this question before, but how do you reconcile that from a female's perspective of, I actually like these people are the ones who inspire me to become who I am, but yet there's an element of hypocrisy there because they may speak negatively about homosexuality in their lyrics?
Well, you know, that's where the struggle comes in, on trying to be myself at the same time trying to be successful. So at times I may just look at the level of success of some artists. You know, I want to be like Russell Simmons, I want to be, you know, like P. Diddy, and they may not say, you know, lyrics that may approve with me or anybody else, but at the same time they can still be role models for me, like, hey, you know, they went through the same struggle. Hip-hop wasn't being played on MTV at one point. It was all, you know, rock and other stuff. You know, there was no African Americans on hip-hop on MTV except for Michael Jackson, and Run DMC had to struggle their way, and Russell Simmons had to keep on pushing. And so that for me is a, you know, reflection on my own work, and I just got to keep pushing to be able to be at the level of success as Russell Simmons or anybody else that's in the music industry game. And basically everybody has to go through the struggle. So, you know, and that pretty much showed me that, look, we might not be getting the love we deserve right now, but you only fail when you quit.
That is a fantastic sentiment. You're like, oh wow, I'm blown away by that. That's fantastic. I mean, it's interesting that you focus on the struggle and not necessarily the race issue. You know, but because of the race, it was predicated by the struggle. They had to struggle to get there because of their racism. Now you have to struggle because your homophobia. The struggle is what really makes this music work. That is amazing, absolutely. So talk about the show real quick. We only have a couple of minutes. So the show and your participation in it, talk about that for a minute.
Well, you know, I was featured in the show. You know, my mom even got a spotlight in it because she was around, and she totally supported it. And she, you know, she made a really good feature in there. But, you know, Alex Hinton, the director, he went around for a couple years, followed me. I was in New York, I was in the Bay, and, you know, I was just doing my thing at the time. So, you know, they got some really good footage, and that was real. That was when I was really coming up, you know, as an artist, trying to do shows and being open about my sexuality. And so I feel like, you know, the film has really helped me develop as an artist to kind of look back on where I was and where I am now, and open doors for more lesbian or queer or, you know, whoever artist that looked up to me and say, hey, she's doing it, so I could do it too. So, you know, just paving the way for other artists is definitely, it feels good to be one of the you know, originators of being open. And honestly, this is like history. You know, being in the film makes me feel like, look, I'm already in the books. I've been doing this. You know what I mean? And there's already famous artists that are out right now that, you know, haven't said, oh, I'm out, that are already famous. And so the film is like a landmark. Like, look, we're here, we're already in the books, and, you know, it's just going to create a landmark for people that are in the future that want to be open. Right.
I love that sentiment because it's just like Barack Obama. Life is about change and participating in, as far as what can I do to help the collective. And you guys seem to echo that. Everyone says the same thing when I ask that question. And you guys are just amazing to me. Thank you so much for being my guest on the show. You are amazing. I look forward to listening to your music and seeing a lot more of you on the airwaves and seeing a lot more of you on television. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And you guys, thank you so much for joining us here on this segment of Interviewing Hollywood. I mean, Jenro has an amazing perspective on the music, and it seems to be something that we are hearing kind of sort of across the board, that this is a music about being yourself. I can't say that enough, and Jenro is just a personification of that. Thank you so much. So not only is Jenro and myself, we're capable of being ourselves, but so are you. God bless you, good night, and thank you for being here on this installment of Interviewing Hollywood with me, your host, Shahid Manning. Have a good one, and I look forward to seeing you on our next show. Bye now.
I'm a masterpiece, the way I piece the puzzle about the world, got so many shots. I live like my last day's coming, I'ma keep on running, can't tell who's gonna get by. The mind is